Hey everybody, it's the last Robokai here, and it's time for some more Fate Samurai Remnant, and you know what that means, it's time to continue running from the law. And I'm joined in this endeavor by Cool Guy.
I have more experience on it than he does, so I'll be providing real-time shot calling. I won't.
Tax evasion isn't real. Stop trying to pretend you're some kind of gangster. We're wanted from Iori and Saber, actually, are wanted for moiter. No less. Moiter in the sword degree. And we've joined up with Tsukunoshin and Yagyu Munenori, the rogue saber who has mysteriously appeared and also is probably tied in some way to the swordsman following around the magistrate, accusing them of being the killers because they're also apparently using the Yagyu style. It's getting a bit Yagyu up in here. It is the Yagyu Sword Chronicles, so I guess that makes sense. And we've just had to run away from Samson's. I don't know where everyone's going anymore. I forget. Let's go and find out.
Oh shit! Here we go again.
Tax evasion isn't real. Okay, we ran quite a distance.
You need to work on your cardio there, buddy.
初めに辻斬りにやられた仏さ。
大事ないか、助之進。息が荒いぞ。
そりゃあんだけ走りゃこうなるってもんさ。
何を言う。
I would blame this on them being heroic spirits, but Iori's fine.
So he wasn't running at all.
おお、その説はどうも。すげえ女もいたもんだぜ。はぐれのバーサーカー、危機迫る猛追ぶりだったが、太夫の様子から考えても、セイバーや俺を狙ったということはまずあるまいな。
It would be safe to assume he's pissed, which works because, you know, Rogue Berserker.
手がかりを求めた。まずは
Can't imagine Tsukunoshin did anything to upset him, but at the same time, like, he was with Munenori the whole time, right? So
looking at Samson cross-eyed in the wrong context can piss him off. Like, I'm not really blaming that on anybody.
Well, it seems like the constables are now getting active in this. It was just the funny thugs and everything chasing a bounty, but now we're actually getting tracked.
Are we actually going to be controlling Tsukunoshin for this?
Nope.
Okay, thank God.
Hey, look, I wouldn't have said no to a sequence where you get to wander around, talk to people as Tsukunoshin. Seem to actually do some constable work.
It would fracture his mystique as the most worthless friend on the planet, when, you know, really he's not at all worthless as a friend. Man, Saber's really excited about that concept. That is not what I was expecting.
当てがないのであれば、まずは交渉。例えば、御殿山。いかがかな?
Honestly, I was kind of hoping he would just be like refuses to comment further, leaves.
交渉制するが兵法の常道。
そうは聞くが、傭兵の話では。
というのは冗談にて。かの地の桜、まこと良きものであるとか。
なるほど。かの田島の神殿が物見遊山を。
せっかく再び江戸へ。
Well, they do say never meet your heroes, but in this particular case, it's never meet the weird abstract concept of your heroes in a youthful form.
己に正直だな。
ん？この霊気の拙者はそういうものらしい。
That's just how it is.
いおり殿、セイバー殿も参られよ。
Truth of the matter is, the older Fate Grand Order Munenori he's best described as cheeky, I'd say. He carries himself with an incredibly dignified air. He's an incredibly skilled swordsman. But he has the slightest smile, and he'll sometimes just say or do something just to keep people on their toes. And then he'll just give like a little mysterious smile afterwards when they're trying to figure out what he's up to.
The answer is don't think about it.
But now he's actually going to formally join the group and be usable in battle, which is nice.
Hooray!
And he has a lot of really great attacks, like flashy as heck.
Mm-hmm.
And we've unlocked his skill tree as well, because he is a rogue surfer. Our sword-shaped, sword-shaped emblem.
Yeah, I couldn't help but notice that one. Somebody was having a lot of fun in the design room with this shit.
I really do appreciate how they do that. Yeah. But we're gonna have to do some reminiscences and like activate some affinity techniques and other things to unlock the rest of the tree. But it's okay, we'll do that easily.
None of those are terribly onerous, except for, you know, potentially the one that's a mystery. The one that's a mystery is almost certainly story related. I do appreciate how you took a couple steps forward, abruptly realized there was a cat behind you. I was just like, wait, nope, pets have to be given. And I'm just like, yeah, them's the rules.
But that cat was one of the goodest of cats. You saw how it's set up. Waved its little
True,
paws.
like sat up to get its belly rubs. Like that is one hell of a good cat.
we just like crank the brakes on a murder investigation just because I'm just like whatever.
These are the rules.
Yeah, these are the rules.
All I'm saying is that every so often when I get obsessed with Shadows of Doubt, it's very good for me that there are no dogs or anything in that game, because I would never get any work done. I'd be spending too much time petting dogs. It's not that hard to figure out. The dude just wants a peaceful afternoon.
A big part of being a samurai was, you know, especially with the way Musashi sort of wrote about it and things like that as well, although obviously that doesn't apply much to Minonori, was there does need to be a sense of appreciation for more than just swordsmanship, you know? Like a lot of like the stories I read about Musashi tend to sort of flip onto him picking up on aesthetic stuff, even when he was like hiding from like schools of swordsmen trying to kill him because he mauled one of their leaders. It's like I read a novel about him, and he basically, like, while he's hiding out in like a back shed on an estate or something, he gets obsessed with like writing calligraphy.
Gotta do something to pass the time. I've always kind of appreciated that particular aspect of samurai culture, though, because there's a weird, what's the word I'm looking for? Rhyme, like historical rhyme with that when you when you regard like a lot of the Viking cultures as well, because skill at arms and skill at poetry was basically considered equally as important. A lot of the Viking skalds were, you know, like which are their local equivalent of bards in case we're not clear on that with some folks. But like a lot of them were extremely good fighters. But if you started beefing with somebody and you weren't sure you could beat them with a sword or an axe, you could just challenge them to slam poetry. And if you could bring it with poetry, that was it. Like you were still the coolest cat in the place. And there's absolutely a number of situations like that amongst samurai stories as well. Obviously, like you have such incredible swordsmen with this incredibly like useful and diverse sword art, that you hear a lot more of like Musashi being the sword demon of his time or whatever. But you know, like there's also a number of situations like we've discussed in this very Let's Play where he wins by trolling people and making them let their guard down.
Oh, there you go. I did use it. Remember I said I probably wasn't going to use it the entire time? Looks like I did.
Nope, you did.
There you go. We used flare. Back to the good shit.
God, that snap from Gil's image is still the best.
Just imagine you're extremely pompous and up yourself, Iori, and you will master this power.
I like the idea that Gil is aware when he's being channeled like that, and every time it happens, he just sort of does that like slow bearded man nod gif. Like, good job, mongrel.
Then you get hit and he just goes, I take it back.
Yeah, like, that was particularly funny because you looked incredibly cool, like just
you could
diving
just see the slow
that dude.
train coming.
And then, yeah, right out of the corner of your eye.
That's just my lot in life.
I've had a lot of experiences like that playing Helldivers. Just like I'm going well in on some dude that's tormenting my team or whatever, and then there's a fucking charger just out of my sight range, and I get thrown like a million feet.
そこの御仁大事ないか
かたじけねえ。その面、お前、宮本伊織か？格之進殿が奉行所で言っていた。
貴殿、同心か。
Walking around open carry like that, there's not a whole lot of other things he can be.
Mm-hmm.
考え方次第だ。貴殿、話がある。
なんだ、おっと、それ以上近づくんじゃねえ。
濡れ衣だ。
You're fine, dude.
辻斬りの下手人ではない。
I only kill ghosts and demons. And specifically 6 other people, and their magical beings.
お前が一番知ってるんじゃねえか。知らぬがゆえに聞いている。誠の下手人を探し当て、濡れ衣を晴らすため。そうだな、伊織殿。
ああ。
It's really funny to watch these two continue to use the Dono honorific between the two of them.
筋は通っちゃいるか。助けられちまった以上は貸し一つだしな。いいぜ、教えてやる。
聞こう。
ここ品川で殺されたのは山本修善殿。
Oh shit!
Yeah, that's a bit high profile. Yeah, you don't want to be getting accused of that stuff.
Yeah, that's bad news bears.
I'm surprised the mobilizations. Well, I suppose with no evidence, it's kind of hard for him to like get a big one. Yeah. As I did say before, when you start sort of popping off up higher up the chain, you start bringing more eyes on the situation. And the worst thing you can do is bring the top level angry at you, because then they just like drop everything on top of you. Chiamon knows that better than anybody.
Yeah, and corrupt, not corrupt, it doesn't matter. Like by the time it gets to the Shogun's level, that's no longer the point. This is a direct attack on the authority and integrity of the shogunate, and that can't be tolerated in any of its forms.
Yeah, like this isn't just a Tokugawa thing. This is true of any of it. There's one particular story that sort of I distinctly remember. It's basically comes from Toyotomi time, Hideyoshi, in particular. He had a sort of a, I suppose, like a close relative or something who's basically, you know, the second most powerful thing. Second most powerful person. And he was looking to be the successor because Hideyoshi famously just could not have children. And eventually he did actually manage to have one child, and this guy who was way older and like very experienced and had effectively been acting like a de facto ruler for a time as Hideyoshi was like declining in his age, it was like, we gotta get rid of this guy. And so they basically just, you know, didn't even really try that hard, just said, no, he's a traitor, and executed him, and then executed his entire family, and everybody basically closely related to him. And this is particularly sad because, one, there was a lord in, like, that had been in the sights of this particular fella who had been basically saying, I want to marry your daughter, and it's like, the guy who's basically second to the shogun is demanding my daughter, like, join his harem, essentially. And he refused as long as he could until finally he had to relent. And she'd barely been with that place for a week before that declaration was made. And so she was taken to the execution site along with everyone else and executed. And like, they just missed getting a notice from Hideyoshi to the execution site to say, hey, actually, no, she's okay, don't kill her. Because it took some time for people to actually get up to him to explain what was going on. It's pretty bad. Yeah, apparently she wrote a very nice death poem. She's semi-featured as a servant, as a part of another servant in Fate Grand Order, but that's not how I heard about her. This is a story I'd known for quite a while.
But it's something that I would absolutely recommend if anybody feels a twinge of interest from the bits and pieces that we give you. One of the beautiful things of the Edo and the Sengoku era and all of, and everything around there is that it's basically a part of history that is immensely well documented. So you can go back and you can get all sorts of little stories like this in a way you really can't for a lot of European periods, simply because Europe was a lot more chaotic. There was a lot more military action. There were places were a lot more prone to getting burned to the fucking ground.
I was going to say, if you hadn't said it, I was going to say there's a lot more things on fire.
Yeah, like if you had some sort of grand archive of your family's history over a 150-year period, like around this time in Japan, nothing would happen to you. Like that's fine. It's gonna be there in 150 years. There's 150 different archives like that amongst European nobles and whatever, and 149 of them would end up just ashes. Because it was politically advantageous for somebody to make sure that your family's records were erased.
I like that they went to get sweets and like Muniro was just like, "Three everything," and Saber was like,
that was absolutely a brilliant part of Iori calling it. He was just like, no, like shut up, Saber. Y'all are gonna get along fine. Like, don't worry about it. All you need to do is wait until you cats can actually eat together. Game recognized game when it comes to eating.
Something about sabers and food.
Training burns up a lot of calories, yo. Dude, how tall is this asshole? Like, he's gotta be like 6.5 foot tall.
Yamamoto Shuzen no adauchi toいうわけでもあるまい.
Oh, it's just all those occasional moments where, like, it's like, God, even the woman is strong, and you just know Saber's going, who's the woman?
Yeah, or, like, alternatively, like, I think at this point, Saber has been referred to as a woman enough that she's getting it, and it's just like, I don't care. Like, Okay, whatever. That's just how people see me. That's on you. Whatever. I don't give a shit.
They're very, very careful to just not ever actually explain it. I'm pretty sure Saber also exists in Fate Grand Order's little bubble where you can... Because on Valentine's Day events, like I think I've probably mentioned it before, but they basically have the male and the female servants in different sections, and the idea is that you do the event and you get a scene where the female servants give you a gift, and then like you give a gift to the male servants and they give you a return gift, so to speak, like basically saying like, and it's usually chocolate on the female side and like, you know, just a regular gift on the other side. And there are a few servants that exist on both sides because they're gender neutral, gender undefined. Astolfo is probably the most famous version of that.
Right.
You know, Astolfo does what Astolfo wants. But
Exactly.
Also like because then there's ones like the Shinshi Kwang, who I probably said his name wrong entirely there, but the Chinese emperor that really loved Mercury, because his version, his physical form was like manufactured. He's essentially a complete non-gendered being as well, even though he looks quite masculine, and so he does it as well. So it's like, it's not even like a case of like straight up, oh yeah, this, you know, we're just not telling you. In some cases, it's just like, oh yeah, he probably just, you know, this one probably just doesn't have genitals, so whatever. Oh, hello there.
In Saber's case, it makes a lot of sense because like I ended up figuring out during the research that led me to Saber's true name. Like there's a lot of story and historical and mythological reasons for Saber to be gender ambiguous, and it also kind of lends into Saber not giving a fuck how people see her. You know, it's just like, okay, that's fine. You know, like I'm gonna do what makes sense and what I want to do at the time. Whatever. Like I just don't care.
Yes.
I can definitely respect that outlook.
And for the record, just as an aside of what we just saw there, Assassin is not going to be taking part in this story, by the way. He's just doing a cameo there for some reason.
Don't worry about it.
So Yagyu, when he's part of the group, doesn't pet.
I was a little surprised about that, but like I more or less
he wanted to.
I more or less immediately defined it for myself as in the code. They probably only set it up so two people can pet at one time. So for this DLC, they would have had to do a bunch of extra work to make sure Yagyu could pet when everybody else was petting, and it was just like, no, we're just gonna let that one go.
Yeah, it lets him sort of come down and, you know, and enjoy the aesthetics of petting.
いかにも貴殿
How do you know his voice?
俺に何用だ
違うお前とは背丈からしてまるで違うあれはそう見上げるばかりの男だった
Legend grows already
あ
then.
の夜俺が見たのは宮本伊織ではない
おーい何をブツブツ言っている
貴殿その話聞かせてもらえるか役人が切られた夜一体何を見た
Yeah, we can't really call anyone who's assembled here a giant of a man.
No, like
何面白き話
usual build for men around this time period is, you know, like 5'3" to 5'6". Veritable giant of a man would be, you know, probably about a foot taller than that.
大柄の武者が佇んでいたか
見上げるばかりの大男とも言っていたぞ伊織とはまるで違うな
And, you know, a sword that long, that's an Adachi.
Yep, certainly is.
まあなんとも
Or a washing pole, but I'm pretty sure
少なくとも俺よりは
I'm pretty sure we aren't going to be having to deal with you know who.
Pretty sure like that would be a distinctive enough weapon that they wouldn't be simply referring to it as a sword.
But yeah, the Yagyu Odachi.
Yagyu no Odachi. 聞いたことがある。
Yes, the humble katana is not the only style of weapon.
God,
at the very
not
least
even
that the
remotely.
Yagyu were proficient in.
送電されるものだとか。
しかり、当世であれば、そう今頃は。
You can think of it a little bit like how the European style straight swords went from everything from the like 2-ish foot short sword gladius all the way up to the like 5 to sometimes almost 6 foot claymores and great swords. The most common thing that we think of is the 3-foot long sword, but like that is far from the only version of the European sword. Similarly, the katana goes everywhere from the short sword that you see on Munenori here, the wakizashi, and the normal katana up to the odachi and so forth.
So, thickening the plot up a fair bit.
Shut up! You're not interesting anymore!
行こう。俺たちを待っているはずだ。
Oh, this is somebody else. I thought this was still that same retainer that was monologuing at us earlier.
だから俺はただ辻斬りについて知ってること。
Tsukunoshi, no. I actually just kind of flicked over and just looked up Toshikane since he got mentioned just now. And it's actually kind of interesting because apparently he was considered a prodigy as a child. And according to at least very least to Wikipedia, because I didn't know much about this guy, they say he basically sort of was part of how they changed the face of the of their sword style, of the Shinkegeryu style, because basically no one was going around in armor anymore and fighting and stuff like that.
Right.
So it's starting to, like it was more about being, like in civilian clothes and in fighting in duels and things like that. And apparently he had a fairly distinct style of wakizashi, and it was nicknamed the Oni kitchen knife. So I'm wondering how many instances of games that call something an Oni kitchen knife are a reference to the Oni Bocho.
That'd be pretty cool. I genuinely have no idea. That is an interesting part in the evolution of the sword style, though, is that like, especially as Japan got more overtly peaceful, right? There are fewer large scale armed conflicts. The sword style has absolutely evolved with that. It went to more favoring the wakizashi versus the katana or the odachi, and the distinctive sword style that they're talking about probably like used a lot more EI strikes, which are the strikes that you get when you draw your sword. Because those are the ones that are going to end the battle in one strike, as you're talking about it. And if everybody's in civilian clothes, everybody is really vulnerable to that.
Yeah. Apparently, Toshikane also fought one of Munenori's sons in a duel and beat him in 1 stroke. So I don't know. I feel like Munenori's talking bad shit about a guy who's actually pretty good. Admittedly, the particular son they were talking about was the least talented of all of them, but still.
Yeah, like that is still some, like, even if you don't show a whole lot of talent for it, we're still talking about somebody who had the privilege and time to do nothing but study the sword. Even if your heart isn't in it, even if you're not very well built for it, like you're gonna get a hell of a lot better than somebody who has to go and weave tatamis for a living.
I do kind of laugh because, like, Munefuyu, this is just going straight from Wikipedia, as a fair warning. Basically, like, they describe him as a womanizer and a no amateur.
Yes,
which is a form of dance theater. You know, where not like, you know, funky dancing, but like flowing movements and stuff, and sort of singing the performance as they go in a sort of in a way. I think Oda Nobunaga was a big fan of that.
He was.
Most famous
I do remember that.
His most famous poems, where he talks about how, you know, the existence of a human life is just a scant amount of time in the grand scheme of things, was something he performed to his retainers as a no performance with the fan and everything like that.
It was one of the numerous ways people, or the Shinto Buddhist adherents identified Oda Nobunaga as a moral degenerate, because, you know, like that wasn't something that respectable people did, and blah 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 blah, which was also one of the numerous friction points as to why Oda Nobunaga tolerated the Jesuits, even though they were causing massive amounts of civil unrest elsewhere, because they didn't judge him for that, and they pissed off the people who were. It was that simple.
大立ちの武者、そう読み取れるな。むしろ他には読み取れん。ならばあえて俺たちに知らせる意図は誘導か。
九段の武者を
Baiting you.
かように誘っているようではある。
なあ。
どうする、イオリ殿。罠やもしれんし、罠でないやもしれん。
I would love to see a trap attempt to close around these three.
Yeah, that better be one hell of a trap. Like you better be tossing out just like an immense amount of poison gas. Like that's the only thing that's gonna work. That fucking gremlin face.
Also, apparently Toshikane, like, used the Oni kitchen knife to defend himself one night. He was attacked in the middle of the night and just cut the guy down in one stroke. So I really feel like Munenori's just, like, mad for his son. I feel like Toshikane was pretty fucking good, actually. But you know what? Whatever. He changed with the times. He kicked ass. Like, I don't get it.
It was one of the things that we talked about briefly. Well, no, not briefly. We talked, like, it was sort of a recurring theme when we were doing the Neo Let's Play, just in terms of the difference between a lot of the samurai and gentlemen and gentlewomen of leisure that had the ability to study the blade more or less full time, versus a lot of the peasants that made up levies. It was genuinely, like, it is to be expected that one samurai of leisure could take 20, 30 men before eventually being whittled down. Simply because like if you've done something 10,000 times versus somebody who has done something twice, like, yeah, you're gonna win. You're gonna win 99.9% of the time, and it's gonna take a minute for that 1% to wear down on you. Like, that just is what it is.
Yeah, you don't want to be at the front of an attack like that. You want to be like middle.
Yeah, like
because then you get to take the kill, and you'd be like, I did it! I killed the guy!
I killed all of the guys! You know, like let somebody else take the vanguard.
I love Munenori saying. I was gonna say I loved Iori saying Munenori was Oyabun.
Right.
Iori just kind of like, no. Here's Sukanoshin doing his best to be the super bro.
That is a brilliant performance on the part of his voice actor, by the way. God damn, dude!
Sukanoshin's like fucking paying his way today.
Put this man up for an Oscar.
I may have an idea.
では、ひとまずのさらば。
TTFN, ta-ta for now.
Yep. We're splitting up. Not so diligent, really, actually.
No, shut up.
お前の話はまた後だ。急ぎ奴らを追うぞ。
ふう、こんなもんかね。無事に逃げ延びてくれよ、いおりさん。
Good man, Sukanoshin. You're kind of a drip, but you know, you're our drip.
しかし、霊体化せずに逃げるべしとは、追っ手を散らすためとはいえ、面倒を強いてくれたな、ヤギュ。
Easier way, perhaps, but better way, probably not.
ああ、まあそうだな。
Let me guess, she sees a food stall.
たまには良い。単独行動というやつだ。
These excursions always end with Saber wearing a little fox mask.
合流の前に。
Never ceases to be funny that like it gives you the fox mask as an item, and in both in the main scenarios when it happens, like an extra one gets added. It was like, Saber went out and bought another one.
Bought is a big word there because I like to think that Iori isn't stupid enough to actually give Saber any money, particularly after he understands that she doesn't actually need to eat to survive. It's just something that Saber really likes to do. It's just like, if I give it, like, he naturally has to think, if I give you any money, I am never seeing that money again. Like, there's no way I'm ever seeing it back. So that implies that Saber went out of her own accord and did some kind of work or favor to get fox masks. Specifically to get fox masks. Which is even funnier.
So fast too, which makes it funny.
Like that's way better to me.
Yeah, it seems like a Nihonbashi magistrate has also gone missing. So we're starting to pile it up.
ただの役人であればいざ知らず、与力の行方知れずとなれば考えにくい。やはり。
No, the bodies would be piling up if the body had been found yet.
それからもう一つ。ここ数日、陰陽師がせわしなく動いている。
陰陽師
That is an interesting wrinkle.
もしやお前、監査役と面識がなかったか？
As we know, the Tsuchimikado's Onmyoji is, their function is primarily to travel around and try to keep the ritual under wraps, which includes dealing with monsters, ghosts, and rogue servants to a degree.
命令や怪といった神秘の痕跡をもみ消すのが任と聞く。
And they're interested in this murderer.
ただならぬ事態と考えるべきだろう。
なるほど。そういうことも。
Which is a regular murder, you wouldn't think they'd be so active, unless there's something unrelated going on, which is, you know, for narrative purposes, very unlikely.
Yeah, like
that'd be a bit left field, I think.
In a detective setup, that's a reasonable assumption. For a narrative setup, no fucking way, dude. No fucking way are these things unrelated.
Yeah, we in the main storyline, the Onmyoji were very active, and we learned that later that was because they were setting things up related to the ritual. Like, it's not really relevant to this story, so they've got to be doing something related to it, right? That looks like Nihonbashi might be our next port of call after we relink up with everyone. Oh, hey Musashi.
あら、奇遇ね、セイバー君。
おお、武蔵。君も品川にいたのか。
ちょっと野暮用がありまして。それにしても、いおり君の姿がないような。
ゆえあって。
Waiting for the fuck it, let's go eat, like everything.
聞いておこう。
今は大丈夫。そっか。セイバー君一人か。もしも暇ならさあ。
いやいや、暇ではない。
No, we ain't eating today.
Yeah, I was gonna say that'll take hours with these two.
へえ、そうなのね。 ところでセイバーくん、見事。いいえ、さすがと言っておきましょう。不意打ちなんかじゃ切っ先さえ届かない。
武蔵、なぜだ。ことここに至って今日を発すか。
Yeah,
バー
right.
サーカーの霊気と聞いてはいたが。
ええ、そう。何せバーサーカーですので、何をするかわからないのが大事。
You're not supposed to declare yourself as extremely thrilling.
Yeah.
There you go.
もう半分。
I'm only I'm half joking.
なんでしょうか。
No, the real thing is I just want to throw down.
As I have pointed out previously, regular Saber Musashi will happily instigate a fight.
でもね、セイバーくん、今は私の二頭に集中するのが良いでしょう。
But it is sort of one thing that's worth noting that in the main storyline, these two don't ever actually clash for any reason.
二頭
Every single instance of when Musashi fights, it's against Iori.
Right. Like in her mind, this is her chance to cross swords with Saber and only Saber.
尋常に。わあ、さすがにやめておいて。いざご覚悟。
ええ、話を聞かぬか、強戦士。
This coming from the gremlin who has frequently said, maybe I could just kill all of them.
Yeah, seriously, like this rings particularly hollow with how Saber's been so weird like the last couple of episodes.
But it's a good excuse to break up the flow of things with a fun old boss fight. We don't really get to fight Musashi much in the game at all, really, so hey, we'll take it. And she can throw down the best of them.
She's still like the big thing that characterizes Musashi for me every time that we see her is just how quickly she changes the tempo. It's just like from her very slow saunter into that really quick spinning attack to a couple of like very slow opening attacks to her quick finishers to just the really dangerous ranged attacks she has. Just like she keeps changing up the tempo.
そういうセイバー君はどうかしら。
私か？私は別だ。君と切り合いたいとは思わんぞ。
Yeah, right.
あら残念、釣れないんだ。でも、そっか。
Saber comes from a time when they had a different view on warfare and fighting, really.
じゃあ、ひとまずはおしまい。
For them it was a matter of survival, not a matter of testing one's skills.
ひとまずか。二度目は避けておきたいところだぞ。
へえ、最優のセイバー霊気ともあろうあなたが新面無
There she goes, trying to start a fight again.
違う。私は何をも恐れぬが、君が本気でかかれば、イオリは死ぬからな。
Yeah, that's really good foreshadowing there.
なるほどね。
Not.
とはいえ、英月を求めるならば、いずれ対峙することもあろうがな。
それじゃ、そろそろ行きます。またね、セイバーくん。
Can't just walk.
何だったのだ？
Honestly, I was expecting like a spirit shift.
今は先を急ぐとするか。
Not just like zoom.
Yeah, so interesting sort of incident we've just had. We've gone to investigate. We found, yep, the Yagyu tie is getting even stronger. We're now talking about a huge man wielding an adachi, and Munenori immediately started thinking of the Yagyu Odachi. And Musashis are in the area as well. which is kind of interesting. All things told, it does kind of feel like we keep running into the same things over and over again, don't we? So, well,
this has happened before. It is happening again.
It is sort of an interesting point to make that the suspects keep returning to the scene of the crime, regardless of whether or not any of them are the actual perpetrators. So we're gonna keep on going down this rabbit hole. It seems to be that Nihonbashi is gonna be our next port of call, because there's a magistrate that's missing in that region, which means that the body is somewhere out there. If indeed they have been killed by the official murdering person. So we'll see what happens in Nihonbashi next time. I've been the Last Robo, okay?
And I have been Cool Guy.
We'll see you all next time for some more Fate Samurai Remnant, Murder Investigation, the Yagyu Sword Chronicles. We added another Yagyu Sword today, actually. That was like, the Adachi's like another one. The Chronicles are getting bigger. We have very large Chronicles. See you all next time.